go, Johnny.
Okay, Harry.
Hell yeah.
How excited are you about defending your title and what will be some of the keys in defending it?
That's a better question than last year. Last year, you asked for 7 points of the upcoming season. Things are getting better. Super excited. Is what it's all about, and fun to be around the guys. And like I told you guys 2 days ago, having the rotation around here, it just lets everybody else in the organization how ready they are. We know it's going to be a challenge. There's a lot of good teams out there, but we do feel that it's a continuation of what we did last year as far as showing up every day, work, and go out there and play. We do feel there's this organization has done a lot of good things the last few years. Won the division 3 times in a row. Last year we won the World Series. So there's something good going on the last few years. It's just a matter of keep preaching our principles and keep doing the things that we feel are going to make us a better team. And if we do that, we're going to be in good shape.
How does the ring?
Were there things that you feel didn't work last year that you're throwing out? Or I mean, obviously 119 games. So.
There's a few things that we can do better as a group. You look at the record and people are like, no, but there's always room for improvement. And
like where?
I don't know. I think there's a few guys that I do believe that it's not that they regress, but they went back to their old habits. So we need to make sure they understand why we want them to be certain hitters or certain a type of base runners that we want. And if we do that, obviously we're going to be improved. There's certain guys that they took step forwards in the second half. Jackie, that's the one I've been saying it all along. I'm very excited to see what happens this season after he was very consistent in the second half. He worked on a few things in the off season, and looking forward to see him going out there and perform and see if he's as consistent as he was in the second half. Still feels Xander can be better. Rafi Devers, not only defensively but offensively, to become the guy that we saw in September, October. Mitch Moreland to become the force he was in the first half. And you start looking at the things and certain things that happened during the second half. Some of them were just some guys just struggling. Others, it was that we were able to slow people down and use them, in a way to save some bullets for October. So I do feel offensively, I know it's hard to believe, but we can improve. We can be more dangerous from top to bottom. Base running, it was bad early in the season. I think at the end we were elite, and we have to continue that. And there's certain guys that I think we should, keep moving. Xander can steal 20. I do believe that, but stuff like that. And pitching wise, we did an outstanding job maximizing what we have, and not only the starters and the relievers, but some guys that came up. Cuevas last year, the way he pitched, it told us that we have the right idea how to maximize their ability and what we believe as a group how we should pitch. Bobby Pointer, there's a lot of guys that did an outstanding job, and testament to Dana, Banny, and the whole group. Craig Bjorson was huge for us. So we do believe that there's a few things that we can do better, and if we do it, we're going to be in good shape.
How concerned are you about your bullpen, and would you like to see somebody step out to be the closer? I would be satisfied with the closer by committee.
You see, now you're getting tough. You see, that's not fair. I like the stuff we have. We got guys that, as far as stuff, they're the guys we like. Hard throwers with different type of breaking balls. We would love people to step up and claim the role. That means that everybody's throwing the ball well, but I have a pretty good idea where we're going to go. We still have to, go through the meetings and let them know what the plan is, and everybody's going to be on board. We used different guys in different places last year until the 9th inning, obviously, but we get creative, and we did it throughout the season, and obviously in October. That's different because it's a different roster, obviously the off days, and you have the luxury of using starters in the bullpen, but at the same time, there were bullpen guys that they were huge for us in October. You go back to that long game, game 3, everybody pitched. And I even forgot about that. Watching the game, I was like, oh God, he pitched in that game too. So, and they got outs. So I'm comfortable with the stuff we have. Obviously, we have to go out there and perform, but we do believe that with the talent we have and what we believe as an organization, we're going to be able to get outs late in the game.
We met individually or both?
No, that's upcoming. It's coming up this week. Yeah. Before we have time before the first game.
That's like when you'd like to kind of define roles with them and stuff.
Not define roles, just to kind of like where we at and what they think. It's a two-way conversation, and there we go there. It's more about what we expect them in spring training and where we at. Obviously, there's certain guys that we know they're going to be there in Seattle. There's others that they're fighting for jobs, and others that they're going to come here and try to impress us. But like I told you guys last year, like I told them this morning, we started off with 12 pitchers in our roster, and we used 26. And everybody knows the story about Ryan and what he did last year. He wasn't even invited to big league camp, and he showed up against the Twins and got the eye of everybody, and he dominated all the way through the minor leagues and in AAA, and he became a huge part of what we did throughout the season, the rest of the season. And kind of like the same thing with Workman in 13. He wasn't here, and all of a sudden he pitched, I think it was 1 2/3 in the World Series, and now he has 2 World Series rings. So I'm a big believer that spring training is still spring training, but somebody can impress us, and it's probably not going to make the team, in Seattle, but we're going to be paying attention throughout the season because they did an outstanding job in spring training.
Alex, it's been kind of an annual question several years now on sort of saving Pedroia from himself. That was important last year. I assume it's doubly important this year. How do you plan on doing that?
Yeah, first of all, he's going to win in the Comeback Player of the Year. We know who's going to win it already. I mean, he won already. It's Johnny. So, yeah, we take that away already. One thing with Petey, and I told him a month ago, just relax, show up here, and then if you're going to shock the world, do it here in spring training. And we'll take care of that. It's one of those that we have to take care of him, but we have to know what we got too. So there's, a fine line in between those two. He's been going through his progression. He's taking grounders, he's swinging, he's running. Now it's about workload and how we're going to manage that here, but it's not as easy as it looks because we have to know if he can play. In his mind, he will always tell you that. It's just a matter of how he reacts to the drills the next day. With Petey, actually, it's not about, let's say if he works out today, it's not about today. It's about tomorrow, how he's going to bounce back. And we have to really pay attention to that. For everything I hear, for everything I've seen as far as like videos and obviously the texting, the back and forth and having conversations with him, he's ready to roll. He actually, believe it or not, and you believe it, he took ground balls with full unit the other day, the World Series uniform. He took ground balls with that. I was like, you're nuts, bro. You're like, yeah, so whatever, yeah. But he'll be here, I think it's tomorrow or the next day, and for everything he say and everything Brad and the medical staff have told me, he's been able to bounce back from every challenge in the off season. We went through this last year. We know we learned a lot from it, from the whole process. So I do believe we're in a better place, but at the same time, we have to push this guy.
Sorry, point of reference: the actual uniform itself.
It was, yeah.
The road one in Dodger Stadium.
The World Series unit, yeah. I saw the patch, yeah.
Home or road?
The blue top. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Alex, in your mind, how many of the 7 bullpen spots are accounted for as you start spring training?
Wow. A few, I guess. We know, Barnes here, Brazier, obviously. They're there. Heater did an outstanding job last year. I can go farther than that. I know Work was part of the equation last year. It's a different spot now with him. He has no options, and Hector, VJ, what they did last year. All depends where we go too. It's a different schedule too. It's 11 games in a row. Coming, it's right away. A lot different from last year. Last year was 4 in Tampa and the 2 interleague games. As you guys know, we're going with the 6th starter right away, and the second game in Oakland. So it's a lot different than last year. Last year was, okay, this is where we at, but now, obviously, where we at roster-wise and the schedule is going to dictate how, or who we take, to the West Coast.
Obviously, the goal is to repeat, but that's easier said than done. When you talked to Bill Belichick and you went to Gillette Stadium and everything, did you talk to him, or what did he have to say to you about?
Still waiting. No. We decided we were going to talk later on. Yeah, but he's busy now, I guess. Yeah. One thing about repeating, yeah, you can say turn the page, the hangover, and all that. I don't know. I think it's who you have in the clubhouse and what they want to do. If you start looking around the last few years, the Giants were in the World Series every other year. Kansas City was in the World Series back-to-back years. The Phillies in 08, 09, they went back-to-back World Series. The Dodgers have been in back-to-back World Series. The Astros, they did an outstanding job 2 years ago, and then last year they dominated their division. So I don't know how to put it, but teams have been able to show up the next year and put good seasons, and we do believe we're going to do it. We have a good team. I think all around, if you start looking at us, yeah, there's question marks like every other team in the big leagues. We had a lot of question marks last year, and we showed up and we play every day, and we finish games every day, and that's what I love about our team. Even in Game 5 of the World Series, we were teaching the game in the 8th inning, and that's the beauty of this organization and what we do. So I don't think it's going to be any different. The only difference is that there's more people here today than last year, and there's going to be a lot of questions about last year, but it is what it is, I don't know. You can, 3 weeks ago, I look at myself, I was like, damn, you're gaining weight, and I start working out, and I feel better now. So it just, that's the way it works, We're going to be fine. We'll show up, and we'll play the game the right way. We will try to play clean baseball in spring training, which is the most important thing. Finish strong, pitch, play fast, and catch the ball. If we do that, we're going to be fine for that first road trip.
Their personality is not the type to say, well, it hasn't been done in so long, so it's going to be tough. You're not going to put any excuses out there like, right, it can't be done.
No. It's a challenge, but we love challenges. Somebody asked me last year why I took this job, and I'm like, I love this. This is fun. We're the Boston Red Sox. We know where we play, and the challenge of going out there and performing for this fan base and the media and everybody else is what get us going. And we saw it throughout the year. They didn't get caught up on the whole, historic season and all that. They just got caught up in showing up every day and play the game the right way and then win games. And that's what it's all about. And we'll be fine. We'll be fine. The message, honestly, probably somebody was going to ask me, it's like, yeah, you talk about turning the page, but do we really want to turn the page? About, it's a book, and we wrote our chapter last year, and let's write a new chapter this year. But we can always go back and see what happens and learn from that. It's not always, sometimes turning the page is so negative in a sense that, yeah, turn the page because it was negative. Like, no. In this case, it was very positive last year, and we can learn a lot from what we did last year. Is it going to be the same way? hopefully, I don't mind that, but we know it's going to be a little bit different. But we can learn a lot from what we did last year and put it into play this year.
Alex, how are you going to, could you talk about Chris Sale, and how are you and Dana going to keep him healthy this year?
We'll do probably the same thing we did last year. We did everything possible to keep him healthy. Towards the end, obviously, he felt his shoulder, and we were very passive at the end because of where we were in the standings. And the stuff probably wasn't as great after, in October like it was after that Texas starts. Like every pitch was a 99, and the slider was, devastating. But he still pitched in October, and he did a good job. 94, 95 for him is pretty solid. He just threw a bullpen today. I saw it. The angle is the same. He feels good. So I do feel he's in a good place, and he's going to be able to perform. We'll use off days. Our schedule is a lot different this year. We'll take advantage of the whole London experience and all those off days that come up right around there. We go to London. We got two off days and another one. Then we have the All-Star break, and we'll reset the rotations a few times to take care of all of them, because we have to take care of them. Nate, Rick, Chris, and David. We'll use the schedule into our advantage.
Alex, how concerned are you that you did everything you could to preserve Chris? And yes, while you didn't push him when maybe you could have in September because of the lead, you got 17 innings out of him in the final 2 months after all you did the first 4 months. Is that disappointing, given that all the effort you put into preserving him didn't quite work?
No, not disappointing, because I do feel that you saw the stuff he had in Baltimore. Probably he felt that he had to push the pedal to the metal that day. I mean, I still remember that first pitch, Rickard. He turned a fastball, I'm on you, and I bet his competitive juices were like, you know what, no, you're not. And all of a sudden it was 97, 98. Instead of building up, he was like, boom, right from the get-go. And probably that was a setback, but we have no regrets, and I'm not frustrated. I do feel that if it was another season and we didn't have a 10-game lead, he was going to be able to perform in September. We were very careful. We were building him up for that first start against the Yankees, and we cannot accomplish that. It wasn't as smooth as we wanted to. We actually wanted him to finish games on the main field instead of in the bullpen, but we felt that in October his stuff was good.
Alex, when did you feel Bradley, the light went back on for last year? Bradley,
Jackie, there's a lot of work. There was one point that we kind of stopped, and we told him to breathe a little bit. We were in New York, and Timmy and Andy, myself, and Jackie, we talked about what we wanted, and wanted him to be more athletic, ability at the batter's box. And it took a while, but then he found it, and he started hitting the ball in the air. There's a lot of communication between that group in there, JD and Mookie, and he made some adjustments, and all of a sudden he started driving the ball to left center, and that was it. I didn't hear too much talk about him hitting to the shift from the All-Star game on, and it was about him, what he wanted to do, the hard work he put on, and I'm very proud of him, because if it was another guy, I'm the MVP of the ALCS, whatever, I don't have to work. But it was the other way around. He was feeling so good about his swing that he actually had a few sessions in California, and he found a few things, and he's very excited to put in play here in Fort Myers.
Alex, I'm sure you saw the new rule change proposals. What's your thoughts on the one with the 3 batters? Pitcher has to face 3 batters.
I don't know. I really, haven't paid too much attention to it, but we don't match up that much, so I don't think it's gonna. If that happens, it's not gonna harm us, I guess.
Alex, would you be tempted at all to use the ball as your closer?
No. He's a starter, yeah. Well, I mean, in October, you never know.
Did you spend any time looking at, no one's repeated since they had those Yankees. Did you spend any time looking at what happened to all those deep sets and looking for something to avoid?
Not really. I mean, Tony have talked to me a little bit about it. He's talked to a few people, not only baseball-wise, but football. I mean, his contacts are probably better than me. But for me, it's just like I told you. Kansas City, they went back-to-back years to the World Series, and last year the Astros had a great season. The Dodgers, they've been to back-to-back World Series, so it's just a matter of they run into Houston and they run into us. It happens, but all you have to do, honestly, and it sounds simple, but it's not simple. It's just to show up every day and play and forget about the noise out there. I know we do a good job with that, so I don't think that's going to be something that is going to be in our mania as far as like the hangover and turn the page and all that. We just have to, we started today, day one, dominate day one, and keep doing that until the season ends.
Now we're on the team in 08 after the 2007.
We were hurt.
Yeah.
I was playing short, and Mikey wasn't playing, and Kotze had to play first. Casey was in one leg. Josh was banged up. Pat was banged up. And then David got that call. That was a ball, I'm telling you. JD, bases loaded, 3-2.
But there was no lesson you took out of that.
No, I mean we were great that year.
Yeah.
We had a great season. It just we ran out of gas, and then David Price happened.
Just back to Chris for 1 sec. Is there a way you could build him up slower in the season? I know you're very careful with his pitch count, but like last year, fastball averaged 93 in April, then jumped to 96 in May.
Yeah.
So
He was feeling really good at one point, and so good that he just decided that this is working, and he let it eat, I guess. But if you look at what we did in April, it was great. It was that I honestly feel like the weather changed too. That start in Texas, it was hot and humid. It was 85, and he felt good, and all of a sudden it was 97, 98, and he took off from there. So we'll talk to him. It's hard. When he's throwing 97, 98, he's the best out there. With all due respect to Scherzer and DeGrom and those big horses. But when Chris, at one point last year, he was the best pitcher in the big leagues. So we'll talk to him, but he still has to get people out, and if that's the way he's going to get people out, he'll do it.
Alex, did you see your buddy Alex Bergman's comment about? He said that there's no city he'd like to beat more than Boston.
He said that?
Yeah.
That's my guy right there. Yeah. The way he said? What he said?
He just said there's no city I'd like to beat more than Boston.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
He's probably trying to get me to react to that. He's doing okay. He's rehabbing. He's back in West Palm and did a lot of things in the off season, Instagram stories, and that's my guy. So I can't. I'm not gonna react to him.
Alex, is there anything you did different this year? Feel more comfortable in year two as a manager that you gained from last year?
But coming in here,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier. A lot easier. It's baseball. There's a few new faces, but it's like we're family. I know where to go, and what we have to do. At one point, you feel like, am I ready for this? But you're ready. It's just like you have to do less, in a sense, because it's your second year. I'm still learning. I think you learn every day at your job, but the drive here was a lot more relaxing. Not because of what we did last year, but knowing that, okay, cool. I know where I'm. I know Johnny's going to ask the first question. I know you probably asked the last question, Rochi. So I learned all that stuff last year, so it's a lot easier this year.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.